Today's video is going to be dedicated to my Red Tegu, Sassy. We went to the pet store today and I took her with me. We got her some bonus food today, some extra special food that she enjoys. And the bigger 3-foot black and white Tegu, I'm going to call him a mostly black with a little bit of cream Tegu. He enjoys a little bit of that food too. They both really enjoy it. But so I carried him in a pillowcase because he's a little more, Sassy is a little more self-willed, and she's smaller, so she could get away from me in the car and definitely go into something where I couldn't get her out. But I've dedicated most of the day to her. We do our bathroom business in the morning, both the black and cream colored and my little red one here. And we go, they go do their business in there, and then I spend time with them and let them walk around on me and go up in the window as I've shown in videos before. But I spent most of the day with Sassy today. It's like I said, I took her to the pet store and put her on my shoulder, and she obeyed pretty well. And some people saw her and asked questions. But again, her nails are just so sharp. And I finally made the assimilation today. They're cat claws, like kitten claws. They're that sharp, and they're that angled, and they're that curved. And so if you caught a wild kitten, or an immature or a young kitten, and it was a stray and it didn't really want to be held, that's what this is like. And then I also made this because after I hold her and I have her around my shoulders or my neck or my arms, about 10 minutes, 15 minutes later, I feel like someone has taken a tattoo gun and just everywhere she's been has tattooed me, just pricked me everywhere. And it's just a very unsettling feeling. Actually, it really sucks. You can't see my arms, but her nails are so sharp that I'm just sliced. It's not like a large iguana, which could probably be much worse, but her nails are so small, and they're just they're cat scratches, and they're quite painful. But I love her to death. Don't get the wrong idea. She's just a special Tegu, a dwarf Tegu. It's got to be a dwarf. She's probably 6 months now, and nowhere. I know she's a female versus a male, but she's so much smaller. But her appetite is actually really good. Last time I tried to keep her up off the ground, she gave me a little love nip, and the first time she's ever done that. So hopefully I can avoid that today. But just her just not struggling in my arms or my hands right now, just walking around is really brutal on my skin. And then also too, I watch a few other people that have red Tegus, male and female. And their temperaments are just totally different than a black and white Argentine Tegu. If I knew what I knew now, and my advice would be to stay away from the red Tegus. They're just more labor intensive, and I don't know why this one's nails are so sharp. But they're all very temperamental and more wild and less friendly. And it's just the opposite of the black and white Tegu. The black and white Tegu will just hang on me and let me pet his head, and the nails aren't nearly as bad. And sheds a lot easier, just a lot easier to take care of and enjoy as a pet. This one is more of a pet that if you were a breeder, you would breed them and you wouldn't handle them much. They're more like look at them through glass, or in that aspect, more of a pet that you watch through glass and you pick up occasionally. to doctor and to, check up on them and everything. But the Red Tegu is just a completely different animal, and I just wanted to share and express that because I handled her, now with like maybe 6 months, and it's just really key. I see the differences, and I just want to share with people. I love her to death, and I'm glad I have her, and I wouldn't get rid of her. I wouldn't trade her. She's eating very, very well. This little girl will eat until her stomach is rock hard, like a full tube of toothpaste, right when you get it from the store. I mean, I pick her up and but she doesn't eat a ton of food. I'm not stuffing her, but she gets so full. But she does that every day. She wants to eat. She wants to eat. She wants to eat. So she's doing really, really well. She is, always constant shedding problems. And I haven't figured out exactly how to correct that yet. I've been just today with my little toothbrush. Let me see if I can step closer to the camera. I've got things on the floor right here, reptile stuff. But I have a little toothbrush, and I have vitamin E oil, high quality oil that I've talked about in other videos, and I put that all over her, and I just massaged it in with the toothbrush and helped loosen up some of the skin. It just comes off in little bitty pieces, just randomly on her body. Her head will come off pretty well, and the plates on her head, the different little sections of her head will just come off pretty easily without any worry on their own. But her tail and her back and her belly are just the problem areas. And her humidity is 60 to 80%. And then I just want to share with you too, now that we're talking about humidity, I have bought 3 of these Xterra water bottles, misters. They're awesome. And they have a little screen on the bottom, so I don't know, if you had something in there, it wouldn't suck that up. These are great little water bottles, but I spray my reptiles so much, 6 or 7 times a day, and I will go through a bottle and a half of water that these will only last about 2 months, and then the pump system in there stops functioning, and they break. And these are about $4.99. $4.35. I mean, they're just about almost $5 with tax. So instead of buying more of them, because I go through them, a bottle about 2 months, once every 2 months, I went ahead and I also had a bigger sprayer, a pump sprayer, like you would put on your back, and that broke after about 3 months of use. It had a big gallon container with a pump handle on it. And this wand sprayer that you've seen, and if you've watched my videos, that broke. And so now I went to Home Depot, and I have gotten this HDX, and it seems to be more tough, more durable, and it's pretty cool. He's going to go down on the ground on the pump system, and it's kind of like you don't have to pump it a whole lot, and it's like it's battery powered. He's going to go down. It's like it's battery powered, and you push that and it just blows out moisture. It's really, really cool. It doesn't last terribly long. You have to pump it again, but it's a really neat, and hopefully it's more durable. Go to your Home Depot and check this out if you have to moisten reptile cages, or you can water, your plants. I mean, this is a powerful spray when it's pumped up about 10 times, and you don't have to overly pump it, but it's really, really cool. So I thought I would share that. Tegu wanted down on the ground. And so here's what I'm going to give them today. I went and bought 30 crickets. Before I feed these to them, typically I may give them 5 now, but they will eat 30. They will eat at least 25 in an hour. The black and ivory Tegu and the Red Tegu, they will demolish these crickets. But I like to get my crickets hydrated. I've got some Fluker's yellow gel substance that gives them fluid and gives them some vitamins. Also, too, I have a Zoo Med calcium block that I like to usually give them for 2 days, and then I'll put in their little cage before I feed them to the tegu, and they'll eat on that. And then I also put some fruit in there and grapes, and they will demolish grapes and some other fruit, and that really fattens them up and makes them really ready to be eaten. And then I can also sprinkle them with the Zoom Ed Reptivite, and I typically do that. So these are really, really nutritious. But yeah, so let me see what else I can talk about. Yeah, but enjoy Sassy. She dropped down on the ground, but it's just crazy how, and I use that word crazy a lot. I don't know. But it's just so different than the black and white tegu. And I'll get the black and white tegu out right now. And he is so cool. He will let you hang tight, and I'll get him out. He went under his hide. All right. Mac was digging in the dirt, and so he's all covered in dirt. When they go into the bathtub, I clean them up really well, and they get really clean. But Mac is such a sweetie. His nails are just totally opposite. They're bigger, and they get traction. But when they climb on you and stuff, but they just don't shred and draw blood nearly like the black or the red tegu, Sassy. And Mac will let me stroke his head, and I have no fear now of putting my hand near the tip of his mouth. When he was younger, he was kind of it's a little bit sketchy, and I wouldn't want to do that. But I can, pet his head, and he doesn't mind it. If he likes it or not. That's I can't communicate with him. He can't tell me that, but he'll let me stroke his head and touch. Put my hand over his head, and I don't have fear. And he's not constantly struggling to get down and using his claws to kind of punish me. So the black and white tegu, I think they are just the most awesome lizards to get. And that's if I was a new reptile owner, or if I lost these two and I was buying another one, it would be a black and white Argentine tegu. Their temperament is so good, and they're just easy to handle and more easy to take care of. So very interesting, the differences between the two. And you may not understand that because they both the red comes from Argentina too, but likely comes from a different region in Argentina, down in South America or mid-Central America. But really cool lizards, very rewarding. Mac is such a great lizard, and he will usually just sit on my shoulder and hang out right there, as you've seen in other videos. But I think that's everything I wanted to talk about today: the crickets, the water bottle, and just spending time with your tegus. And I'm doing more of that with the red tegu. It's just kind of a tortured thing when I have to hold her. Definitely want to have long sleeve shirts on. I can't get you up close to my arms because everything that she does to my arms is really, really small, but it draws blood, and it's just all over me. Anywhere she gets onto me, it cuts me and it rips into my skin. And then you feel that, like I told you with the tattoo gun. When you get tattooed, there's just a little specks of blood, and they just blot it, and it kind of makes it go away. It doesn't come back, but it does draw blood, and it is painful. So if you get a red tegu, just be aware that you're buying into an animal that is going to be more labor intensive and is not as friendly and is not as cool to just hang around with and enjoy. But maybe someone's got a different red tegu and they've had a better experience. Maybe mine was told to me, at the breeder from Florida, that it was captive bred and captive born. But I may have gotten one that was pulled out of the bushes and as a baby and sent to us, to different people. So maybe that's why she's a little bit more wild. I just don't know. But I was told that she was captive bred and captive born, and so I think that's important, to maybe get a good tegu and then not get one that has stomach problems or parasites. But But we can't get tegus anymore from Florida, so not something that you'll have to really worry about. I don't know where you get tegus now these days from breeders. There may be a couple of breeders that beat the system in Florida and can keep breeding tegus with really stringent requirements. But other than that, I appreciate you watching. I won't make the video too much longer. Mac is going to say bye-bye if I get him off. Say bye-bye, Mac. Bye. I just fed Sassy a mouse, a juvenile mouse, and so I spared people from having to watch that. It is a little brutal. It's not fun for me to do it, but I was bringing it in and Sassy jumped up and got it out of my hand and just devoured it up. But there's Sassy now. She's going to sit on her rock, but you can see how plump her belly is. She's full. But then I want to talk to you too. I want to mention again where I talked about Sassy's claws real quick. I made the decision, months and months ago to trim just the tip, the very, very tip of her nails. I mean, just the very less than a millimeter. I mean, just the very, very tip to take some of that spike off her nails, just a little bit, and it really hindered her climbing and holding on. She would fall off me really easily, struggle, scramble and fall off. She just couldn't get her traction she's used to. It's like a cat when you declaw a cat. And they try to jump up on the backside of the couch, and they're used to having their nails, and they can't get traction and they fall. And then if your cat goes outside and a dog or something is putting your cat's life in harm's way, detrimming or declawing or cutting your cat's nails could be detrimental to their life. They could lose their life to that. So and then when I did that, that's kind of when my dog came in the room here, and my Tegu lost about an inch of its tail. It just had a hard time getting away from the dog, climbing up on something. So I am not cutting the little Red Tegu's nails anymore, and I'm not cutting the black and black and cream nails anymore, because it just they just can't climb what they're used to doing, and they can fall off things, and just puts their life in harm, gives them a little bit more dangerous for them. So I just wanted to share that. I don't think it's a good idea to trim the Tegu's nails. And also too, if you trim too much, they can bleed, and you got to be able to stop that blood. And I have something here at my house that helps me to stop that bleeding if I made that mistake. But even trimming just the very, 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 I mean, it's crazy how much just the tiniest tip of that nail, my black and Tegu had a little bit of blood come out of one of his nails. So you got to be really, really careful. I just wanted to share that with everyone. So use it as you will.